Hello everyone, welcome to all. In the previous session, we have discussed about some basic problems on stress and strain. Okay, so in this session, we are going to discuss about analysis of bars of varying cross sections, as well as along with the concept, we are going to discuss some problems here. So this is some basic derivation for the change in length, which is occurred in the bars which have some load acted upon the load bar. The stress is equal to load by area. As you know that load is P and the area will be the A. So both the units of P will be the only newtons. The units of area will be the only mm's, millimeters. Okay. Then strain is equal to change in length by original length. So the change in length, the units of change in length will be the meters, mm's. The units of the original length will be the mm's or meters, whatever those. So the both the units getting cancelled, so the entire strain will be has no units, it has no units. Then Young's modulus is equals to stress by strain. So stress is nothing but the load by area, so it is P by A, and the strain is nothing but the change in length by original length. So by simplification, PL by delta L into A, then we just bring out the delta L into to the left side. The entire formula will be the delta L is equals to PL by AE. These are the units. It should be, while using this formula, the units of the every parameter should be these follow. P will be newtons and L will be the mm's and A will be the mm square. Okay. E will be the Newton per mm square or megapascal. Okay. 1 megapascal equals to 1 Newton per mm square. Delta L equals to delta L in mm. Okay. So let's go for the analysis. In case of, so what we discussed in last class is, suppose we consider a bar of having constant cross section. Okay, it has the cross section will be the same throughout the length. So in this situation, we have discussed in what we have discussed in previous session. So stress is directly proportional to strain, and then Young's modulus equals to stress by strain. These are the basic formulas. Okay, Young's modulus equals to stress by strain. So through this formula, we are going to calculate the load or deflection, which is nothing but the elongation. Okay. So in this section, in this concept, what will happen? So if the specimen or workpiece will be the having varying cross section. Varying cross section is nothing but it changes its cross section with respect to length. Okay. So I have a workpiece here, and up to some length, I have a cross section. So and after that one, the cross section will be reduced like this. Okay, I have a like this one. Okay, so the cross section will be changes with respect to length. Okay, so what will happen whenever we apply the load to the varying cross section beams? What will happen? How do we measure the elongation of the bar, and how do we measure the stress induced within the bar? Okay, so if in case of constant cross section beams, the stress will be the in a longitudinal direction. Okay, longitudinal is nothing but the length direction. Okay, it's a horizontal, straight forward, like this one. The stress will be distributed like this one. Okay, it's a horizontally. So if in case of considering the bars of varying cross section, the stress is distributed is unparalleled. Okay, so the stress distribution will be the like this one. Okay, goes on. So at the particular point, the stress distribution will be the very high. The stress concentration will be the high. So we can predict whether the material is sustainable, the loads or not. So at the particular situation, the failure will be occurred. We can predict the failure while the application of the load. Okay, here the analysis of bars of varying cross section. So this is the this is the workpiece here. This has a varying cross section in with respect to length direction. Okay, as we know, the strain is equal to such by Young's modulus, and E will be the constant for the given material. Okay, so for every material it has a separate Young's modulus. Okay, for the cast iron it has a 2.2 into 10 to the power of 3 kilonewtons, kilonewton per mm square. If in case of steel is a 2.1 into 10 to the power of 4. Okay, so every material it has a own Young's modulus material. So defaultly the whatever the Young's modulus, the value of the Young's modulus as given in the problems. Okay, and the next, so if in case of stress equals to P by A, elongation will be the PL by AE, as we discussed earlier. And then suppose in this situation we just considering the this part will be the part 1, this section will be the part 1, and this section is could be part 2. So we just split into 2 pieces, and we are going to analysis on the individual workpiece. Okay, individual portion. So while we considering the first part, the sigma 1 will be the P by A, and then change in length will be the PL by AE. So okay, and while we considering the second part, stress is equals to P by A2. Okay, this why, because the load will be the same throughout the cross section, but the difference will be the only the ways of varying of cross section only. The area will be changing. Area only is changing. Okay, and delta L2 and is nothing, elongation of the second portion is equals to P L2 by A2 into E. So why? Because it has a P is a constant. So throughout the length, the load will be the same, and the E will be the also same. Why? Because constant for every material it has its own Young's modulus value. So which value is given by the in problem itself. Okay, the manufacturer itself. Total elongation will be the change elongation in the first portion along with plus elongation in the second portion, delta L1 plus delta L2. So total elongation will be the summation of individual elongation. Okay, so PL1 A1E plus PL2 by A2E. So while we common the P by A to a separate portion, then L1 by A1 plus L2 by A2. So these are the parameters. Okay, so what we can observe is here is that whether the load is applied on the varying cross section, the total elongation of the beam is equals to the summation of individual elongation. Okay, the total elongation is equals to the summation of individual elongation. Okay, and we'll go for the problems. So an axial load of 20 kilonewtons, 25 kilonewtons is nothing but the P equals to 25 kilonewtons. Okay, acting on a bar of consisting of 2 lengths. It has a 2 lengths, 2 portions as shown in figure. If the Young's modulus will be the 2 into 10 to the power of 5. So what I have said is every material it has a Young's modulus, so which is given by the problem itself. Okay, no need to remember everything. Stress in each section, we need to calculate the stress in each section and total elongation. So as per the given data, load will be the 25 kilonewtons. We need to convert 25 kilonewtons into the newtons. Okay, by multiplying with the 10 power 3. Diameter of the section will be that D1 equals to 20 mm and A1 equals to, why? Because these two the entire specimen will be the circular cross section is nothing but is a round bar. Okay, So in case of round bar, the area will be the pi by 4 d square. Okay. So if in case of rectangular bar, the area will be the L into breadth. Okay. In this situation, the round bar has given in the problem. And if you consider the first section, and this is the first section, and this is the second section. So in the first section, the area will be the 100 is multiplied by pi. Pi is nothing 22 by 7. So we can substitute the pi value, or we just kept it aside. Okay. In case of area 2 also, 225 is multiplied by pi mm square. Okay. So we need to calculate the stress in individual section. So from the basic formula, we have a stress is nothing but the load by area. P, as mentioned, is 25 into 10 cube, and the area will be the 100 pi. Okay, the value will be the 79.58 Newton per mm square or megapascal. Okay. Now, while we consider the second section, sigma 2 equals to P by A2. P is nothing but the 25 into 10 to the 10 cube by 225 is multiplied by pi. The value will be the 35.36 Newton per mm square. And then, so after that, we need to calculate the elongation also. So we need to calculate the total elongation. Total elongation is nothing but the summation of individual elongation. We need to addition the individual elongation. And if you consider the first portion, that change in length will be the PL by A or sigma L by E. Okay, 79.58 into is multiplied by 200 is divisible by 2 into 10 to the power of 3. The value will be the 0.079 mm. Okay. While we consider the second portion, the change in length is equal to sigma L2 by E. So if in case of delta L, what is the formula for delta L will be the PL by AE, and this formula is applicable while we using the load, and it has one more formula. This is nothing but the P, while we need to replace the P by A with the stress only, sigma only, sigma L by E. Okay, sigma L by E. So it has two formulas. First one is the PL by AE, and the second one is the sigma L by AE. Okay. So sigma L by E. So 35.36 into 250 by 2 into 10 to the power of 5. So the value will be the 0.044 mm. So total elongation will be the summation of individual delta L1 plus delta L2. The total delta L is the 0.123 mm answer. Okay. So the total elongation may be obtained by this using this relation also. So this is the formula what we discussed in previous. Okay. So we may calculate this by using this formula also. Okay. And then next, go for the second problem. A copper bar of 250 mm long and 30 mm diameter. Okay. 250 mm long and 30 mm diameter for 150 mm of length. Okay. So throughout for the 150 mm of length, the diameter will be the 30 mm, and the remaining 100 mm will be the 20 mm. Okay, the diameter is 20 mm. So the total length of the bar is 250 mm. A tensile load is applied to the bar. Tensile load is applied in this direction. Okay, so that the maximum stress induced in the material is 15 Newton per mm square. Okay, while we applying the load of P, the stress induced within the body is 50 Newton per mm square. Determine the magnitude of the load. So we need to calculate the load. We don't know load, but the stress is induced within the body. So we need to calculate the load and the total extension of the rod. Total extension of the rod for the copper. So throughout the material is manufactured or made by copper. It has, so for example, the copper, it has a Young's modulus is 1.03 into 10 to the power of 5 Newton per mm square. Okay, this is the Young's modulus for the copper. If in case of steel, it will be the 2.1 into 10 to the power of 5. Okay. 10 to the power of 5 in case of steel. And the next, first we need to, whatever the problem has given, first step is we need to split the entire workpiece into two sections, two portions. Now this, in this situation I just consider this portion as 1 and this portion as 2. So for this portion the area will be the pi by 4 d square and 100 into pi, okay, mm square. And then second portion pi by 4 d square, the value will be the 225 is multiplied by pi mm square, okay. What the, as per the given data, the Young's modulus will be the 1.03 into 10 to the power of 5. The maximum stress induced at the smaller section, so it's nothing but the tensile load is applied to the bar, so that the maximum stress induced in the material is 15 Newton per mm square. So if in case of constant cross section, while the applying the load, so the maximum stress induced we can obtain throughout the length only, okay. If in case of if you consider the varying cross section like this one, in this situation also, while we applying the load, the stress, maximum stress induced will be the shorter section here only. The maximum, this is the place where the maximum stress has induced, and this is the only place where the failure occurred. We can predict the failure at the particular position only, okay. So the maximum stress induced is 15 Newton per mm square. Is nothing but this is the, at the portion 1, the maximum stress will be the Newton per mm square, 15 Newton per mm square. So as per the given data, P is equals to A into F. F is nothing but the sigma, okay. F is nothing but the sigma stress, which indicates the stress, okay. The load will be the 15.7 kilonewtons. And then total elongation will be the, we just substitute this formula, or we can solve this problem by using the formula or by using the split the entire pieces into two portions, and we are going for the analysis of each portion, okay. And then go for the next problem is a member formed by connecting of steel bar. A member formed by connecting of a steel bar to an aluminum bar is shown, okay. And this is the steel bar and this is the aluminum bar. It has a dimensions of 50 into 50 mm. It has a dimensions of 100 into 100 mm. So this, the length of steel bar is 300 mm, and as well as the length of the aluminum bar will be the 380 mm as given in the data. Assuming that the bars are preventing from buckling sideways, okay, buckling we can, for the horizontal beams we don't face any kind of failures. If in case of vertical beams nothing but the a columns of the house, a pillars of the house. So while we designing the pillars, there will be a, due to dead weight of the building, it may chance to, the columns will chance to bending like this one, okay. After over a period of time, the columns will be deviated or getting deflected like this one. So this is the phenomena we can call it as a buckling, okay. Over a period of time, the column will be getting some deflection, okay. This deflection we can call it as a buckling, okay. Calculate the magnitude of force P that will cause the total length of the member to decrease by 0.25 mm. So is nothing but the change in length will be the 0.25 mm. The values of the elastic modulus of steel and aluminum are 210 kilonewton per mm square and then 70 kilonewton per mm square, okay. Young's modulus of the respectively materials, okay, has given. So in the situation only, so first step is we just split the entire piece into two sections. So while we considering the steel bar, the cross section will be the 50 by 50. The area will be the, it's a square. It's not here. The cross section will be the square only. So in the situation, the area will L into B, 2500 mm square. Modulus of elasticity is 210 kilonewton per mm square, has given in the data. And then aluminum bar. Length of the bar will be 380 mm. Area is 100 by 100, 10,000 mm square. And modulus of elasticity is 70 kilonewton per mm square, is nothing but the 0.7 into 10 to the power of 5. Okay. So how does it come? So we just substitute the 10 power 3 in case of K. Okay. 70 into, just kilo is nothing but the 10 cube. Okay. Mega is nothing but the 10 power 6. Okay. Giga is 10 power 9. Okay. Kilo 10 cube. So by 100, so we need 0.7 into 10 square into 10 cube into 10 cube. So the 0.7 into 10 power a power m into a power m plus n. So 2 plus 3, 5. 0.7 into 10 to the power of 5. Okay. The total contraction is delta L equals to 0.25 mm, has given in the data. Let P be the required force and delta L are the decreases in the length of the steel, and the aluminum bars are respectively using this relation. So total length is equals to total change in length is equals to summation of individual change in length. So we can substitute the formula. We can substitute the values of every parameter into the formula, and by solving we can obtain the P value will be the 225.22 kilonewtons. Okay. So while we designing the, in practical application, while we considering the vertical beams, we need to design based on the buckling stress. Okay. While we considering the horizontal beams, we need to considering the parameter of bending. Okay. And the next, go for the next problem. A circular bar has a tensile load of 150 kilonewtons. What must be the diameter of the middle portion? If the stress induced there is 215 Newton per mm square, the stress will be the 215 Newton per mm square. Also find the total extension of the bar. We need to calculate the change in length. Okay. Young's modulus will be the 2.06 into 10 to the power of 5 Newton per mm square. 2.06 nothing but is as a made up of, the material is made up of steel. Okay. The load will be P equals to 150 kilonewtons. So the circular bar as shown in figure. So this is the circular bar. It has the same cross section at both the ends, both the edges, and in between these two edges, some minimum bar is here. So 150 kilonewtons acts along the direction, both the direction in a tensile load. The kind of load is tensile, not the compressive. Both the edges having some circular cross section is 50 mm and the 48 mm of length. So in between these two cross section, one more cross section, circular cross section is there. It has a 160 mm of length, and diameter you need to calculate. Okay, we need to calculate this diameter. This diameter and the change in length, the total change in length we need to calculate. Okay, these two parameters we need to calculate in this problem. So as per what we have give, as per the data received from the problem, we know the value of the P is 150 kilonewtons, and then stress will be the 215 Newton per mm square as given in the data. So we need to calculate the parameter D1. D1 is nothing but the load, A equals to load by area. So from this point of view, A calculated, okay, and then one more point of view, D1 is nothing but the pi by 4 D square is equals to the area, okay. From here to, we just calculate this value to the pi by 4 D square. So like this one. So from here, we just calculate the value of the D. Then diameter of the end portion will be the D equals 50 mm, and then area equals to pi by 4 D square, and the total elongation will be the summation of individual elongation. So this is the formula for the total elongation in case of bars of varying cross section only, okay. And the total, the final answer will be 0.206 mm, okay. Just then let's go for the next problem. A steel rod of 40 mm in diameter and 2 meters long is subjected to a pull of 80 kilonewtons, okay. A steel rod having a diameter of 40 mm and the length will be the 2 meters is nothing but 2000 mm. The load will be 80 kilonewtons. So what length the bar should be bored centrally, so that the total extension will increase by 20% under the same pull. So it's nothing but the, so if in, it has two situations. First situation is this is the cross section for the diameter 40 mm. We just applying the 80 kilonewtons. What will happen if we apply the same load which has a cross section of like this one, okay. If we have here a small hole is there, so the diameter of the small hole is 20 mm, okay. The overall shaft diameter is 40 mm. So what will happen if we apply the 80 kilonewtons to the this cross section? What will happen? What is the changes in deflection, changes in elongation of the length, okay. So in the first situation, diameter has given, Young's modulus has given. So through this one, the stress equals to load by area. The stress is 63.66 Newton per mm square. The extension of solid rod will be, so this is the formula for the sigma by E into L, okay. So the final answer will be 0.637 mm. So while we consider the second situation is nothing but the, what will happen if the considered portion has a hole of diameter is 20 mm, okay. In the first situation, the specimen is a solid bar. In the second situation, the specimen has a hole of some depth, okay. In the second situation, the data will be delta L equals to 1.2 into 0.637, okay. This is the 637 has obtained from here in the previous 0.637, okay. The 1.2 is nothing but the total extension will increases by 20% under the same load, okay. So it has a elongation, it has a extension up to 20% extension. The original extension is X%. While we are applying the load, the extension will be X. If the situation, if the material has a hole, the actual extension will be the 20% of the original. So 20% is nothing but we just calculate the 1.2. Okay, if the same cross section, the percentage of increase is the same, we just consider the 1. If the situation is 20% extra, that's why we just assume the 1.2. Okay, bore diameter is d equals 20 mm. The cross section will be the pi by 4 capital D square minus small d square. This is the formula for the cross section for the hollow cylinder. Okay, and then later the sigma 2 is equals to load by area. So 84.92 Newton per mm square has obtained. Okay, so the total extension delta L is equals to sigma by E. So 2000, the length will be the 2000 minus L. This is the, we need to calculate the delta L for this portion. Okay, not this portion. And along with whole portion, sigma by E into L. Okay, we just need to calculate the this portion as well as this portion. Okay, this is the by substituting all those values into the formula, we obtain the L equals to 1202 mm. Okay, that's it. Go for your next problem. A bar of varying section is loaded as shown figure. Determine the total elongation, and then T take E equals to 2 into 10 to the power of 5 Newton per mm square. So this is the another concept. Up to now we have discussed only, we don't know, there is no probability of having internal loads. So what will happen? It has the internal loads. Okay, so 80 kilonewtons and then 40 kilonewtons is there. This acts along the both the sides respectively, and the next 40 kilonewtons has applied on internal. Okay, internally the load will be the 40 kilonewtons. Okay, what will change? What will changes? So how do we calculate the elongation of the beam in this situation? So whatever the problem has given, we just split the entire portion into two portions. It's two, not only two, is with respect to the how many portions it has. How many portions it has. For the larger sections, the length will be the L equals to 600 mm. So we just split into two portions. This is the first one and this is the second one. So we'll go for the analysis for the individual. So 80 kilonewtons is like acting left side. Okay, and then 40 kilonewtons is acted on right side. As well, along with the 40 kilonewtons, one more load is also acted on this direction only. So 40 plus 40, 80 kilonewtons is balanced by the left side of the portion. Whatever the right side portion, the right side of the forces has balanced by the left side of the portion. Okay. And then in case of, if you consider the second portion, the value will be the right side 80 minus 40. So this is the 80 and this is the 40. Okay, both are in the opposite direction. That's why we just take a negative sign. And then right side force will be the 40 kilonewtons. Okay. So, and then later, the elongation of the larger section will be the delta L equals to P by A. We just substitute the values of every parameter here. The obtained value will be the 0.095 mm. So the total elongation will be the delta L1 plus delta L2. Okay, here the value will be the 0.321 mm. The last problem is a bar of varying section is loaded as shown figure. Determine the total elongation. Then E equals to 2 into the power of 10 to the power of 5 Newton per mm square. Okay, it has a cross section of like this one. For the up to 0.4 meters, the diameter is 30 mm. Up to, and the next followed by 0.6 meters, the diameter will be the 40 mm. Okay, and then next up to 0.4 meters, the diameter will be the 30 mm. So in this situation, the so many loads are acted on this specimen. The 80 kilonewtons which is acted on the left side, and 100 kilonewtons which is acted on the right side. So in the middle portion we have two more forces which is compressible in nature, and then first one is the 40 kilonewtons and second one is the 60 kilonewtons, which are these two forces acted in internally, okay, not externally, internally. So in this situation, whatever the problem has given, we just need to split the entire portion into respectively manner. So here three portions here, so we just split into three sections, 1 2 3. Okay, we just give a number system to respectively. First in this situation, we just I consider 1, and then this is the 2 and this is the 3. So individually, while we keep on analysis on individually, the total length will be the change in length will be the P by A into L or E1. Okay, this is the formula for. Okay, and then while we consider the second section, as usual, D equals to 40 mm, and then area will be the pi by 4 d square, and the length will be the 0.6 meters. We need to calculate. We need to convert the units from meters to millimeters. Okay, by multiplying the 1000. Tensile load equals to, as given in the data, elongation will be the P by AE into L. So it's nothing but the PL by AE. We just in this problem just L value is just mentioned in a separate manner. Okay, not an issue. So whatever the problem has given, for every delta L, the formula is PL by AE. Okay, so we just finally we need to calculate the summation of these three elongations. Okay, delta L1 plus delta L2 plus delta L3. The final value will be the 0.604 mm. Okay, and the next problem, the member ABCD is subjected to point loads of P1, P2, and P3 and P4 as shown in figure. Okay, these are the specimen is acted upon by several forces, which are like this one. It's a random manner. The P1 is acts in the left side, and then P4 which is acts on the right side. So in between these two, P2, P3 will be the in a compressible acts in the opposite direction in a compressible way. Calculate the forces P3 necessary for the equilibrium. We need to calculate the value of the P3, and we know the value of P1, P2, and P4. We need to calculate the value of P3. So, and the same time, the elongation of the individual bar. Okay. So, in order to bring the entire system into equilibrium state, what are the steps we need to follow is we just equating the left side forces into is equals to the right side forces. Okay, left side forces are P1 and P3. P1 and P3 are these forces are acts in the left side portion. Okay, and the right side forces are P2 and P4. By summation of these forces and is equals to left hand side and right hand side, the P3 will be the 260 kilonewtons. Okay. So, and then as usual, the next procedure is as usual. For every cross section, we just calculate the change in length, and then finally, the total change in length is equals to summation of individual change in length. So, in case of in this problem, the negative sign has occurred. Negative sign why? Because in this situation, the middle portion has a tendency in nature of compressible way. If in if the specimen has a tensile load, so we just give a sign convention as positive. The specimen has a capable of compressive load, the sign convention will be the negative. The tensile load positive, the compressive load The sign convention is negative. Okay, negative sign for the compression. Okay, and this is the positive plus. Okay, the total length will be the 0.548 mm. Okay, so in the followed in the coming section we are going to discuss about the composite sections. Okay, that's it. Thank you.